beautiful friends. Katie Carlson here. Happy Wednesday. I am 1 day removed from, not 1 day, 1 week removed from my second date with Destiny. And this year it was very, very, very different. I've been kind of teasing this out over the last couple of days to just really share my experience all at once. So if you hop on, say hi. I'd love to know that you're here. Hi, John. So my Date with Destiny experience. So I actually wrote out some things below here. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So what was interesting is I actually, my Date with Destiny experience started out on December 3rd because I took part in the Date with Destiny leadership portion, which is part of the Leadership Master University that I'm doing with Tony Robbins. I did Master University, now I'm doing the leadership portion. And it was absolutely incredible. And again, I try not to have expectations going into these events because I really want to allow myself to be a clear, open channel for, you know, what comes through, what happens, that sort of thing. And my Date with Destiny experience was unlike anything I could have ever predicted. It was unlike any other event I had ever been to. And it was interesting, the breakthroughs that I had this time had nothing to do with the intentions or anything that I had set out basically prior to this Date with Destiny. So hi Robert, hi Julianne, it's good to see you guys. So going back, so Date with Destiny leadership. So I started out 2 days before Date with Destiny started, and it was a beautiful recap with Joseph McClendon III. For those of you that know him, you know we were shaking our booty. It was awesome. Had an absolute blast with that. And hi John! Oh yay, I'm so glad you're able to join. So as part of leadership, we get to serve in a completely different capacity. So if you guys have seen any of my lives or seen any of my posts, you know that I crew a lot. I love crewing. Crewing, it feels like home to me. It's a magical thing to just be able to serve with others and support the participants in a really unique and beautiful way. So I really, again, wasn't sure what to expect with leadership. But the beautiful piece about leadership is you get to serve the participants in another vantage point, in a different way, even than crewing. So in a much more intimate way, I guess I would say, depending on your perspective or the capacity. But with Date with Destiny Leadership, I was put on a team. And John Burgess was my trainer on that team, and he's watching this. So John, love you. I hope you're feeling better. I hope your ankles and all the things are doing much better. So with John, we also had a senior leader. So John was my trainer, and then we also had a senior leader, Annalisa, and then I had an amazing leadership counterpart in Zachary, and he was just absolutely magic. But what most people don't see behind the scenes is all of the work that goes in to making Date with Destiny happen. Even if you have a small idea of the work that goes into it, holy cow, multiply that by like 100. Everyone, the trainers, the senior leaders, the leadership mastery, the crew, everyone, I mean, you guys, like it takes an army. The most beautiful, selfless, beautifully serving army out there. And it was absolutely magic. The first day, it was funny, I'm going to tell you a quick story. So the first day, first of all, I had the best team in the history of the universe, R4. We were the explorers, and everybody kind of stays within their team after night one. And the first day, leadership mastery and the trainers and the senior leaders were really getting ready for our participants. And we noticed that there were 2 purple bandana teams. And so we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should differentiate. Okay, well, let's tie-dye our bandanas. I was like, oh my gosh, I've done this before. I could totally do this. So, typical Katie, dive, 110% in and gonna make this happen, gonna make this efficient, gonna do this, start rubber banding and everything. I do not know the cause yet, but I have a feeling that was part of the reason why my wrist went out. A little bit of like tendonitis or something with this muscle. It was pretty crazy. Hi, Tim. Hi, Bill. I'm just saying hi. Hi, Beth. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. Waiting for this, right? R4. Yes, Zach, you're on. Yes, one of my most amazing counterparts. So, PSA, by the way. I think I did a live about this. So, Zach went out and bought all the stuff to do the tie-dyeing. It was wonderful. I go in and to bleach the bandanas, and by the way, guys, polyester doesn't take bleach. Yeah, so that doesn't happen. So there was a lot of like running around on the first day that was really interesting, because I know that like I value efficiency, which means maybe I value certainty. There's a lot of undertones there. However, there was a lot of time spent on these bandanas. And so when it didn't work out, I had to laugh about it. And that's all I could do was laugh. In the end, we got beautiful hot pink bandanas and we fringed them and it turned out to be beautiful. But I will tell you, it was a beautiful lesson in surrendering and recognizing that sometimes that when things don't work out, they actually do in another beautiful way. What happened to me with my wrist, the next day, I felt something kind of funky, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just like a tendon out of place. So when you're at a Tony Robbins event, you're dancing around, you're making things happen, right? You're dancing, whatever. Well, I thought maybe I could just whip it back into place. And so I was shaking my arm, and I think I just made it worse. And so in doing that, I really had to surrender much more fully than I wanted to. I'd been looking forward to Date with Destiny for basically since March when I signed up for Leadership Mastery. And then to see, to have me kind of go down, injury-wise, was really a struggle. Because it meant that, or what I told myself, the story I was telling myself, is that I couldn't show up fully for my team, which was total BS. Because Zach was a godsend, John was a godsend, Annalisa was a godsend, in supporting me, in the things that I couldn't do, because I jacked up my wrist so much that I literally couldn't lift anything, you guys. I had to have my roommates help me put socks on, wash my hair, dry my hair, another level of humility. And just another level of compassion for people that, I have my hands and I have my legs, and I've got very good friends that don't have arms and legs, and, they make it work, right? But it really goes to show, appreciate what you have. I also learned that I really have to ask for help. Hi, Jameson. Hi, Carla. Hi, Bill. Yes, I did anyway. I did, John. And so it was funny. Again, at any of these events, you just never know what's going to happen. And so I think it was day 3, I believe. I was really struggling to get to the conference center in a reasonable time to mark the chairs and all that kind of stuff. So I told my team, I'm like, hey, can you, help me out here? I'm going to be a little bit, whatnot. Which was awesome. It's the beauty of having a team, it takes a village. And then I'm coming in the building and I see John, who has injured himself as well. And so I was like, oh no, now we're down to 2. So out of a team of 4 serving R4, we're down to 2. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? What is happening? But again, I knew, innate within me, it's all going to work out. Let's trust, let's go. We can make this happen, whatnot. Henrik was able to step in and beautifully lead as a trainer when John had to go take care of himself. And thank goodness he's better. Yes. I'm so glad that you're feeling better. How are you feeling, John? Let me know. Let me know what's going on. I'm hoping things are going better. Are you still on crutches? I'd love to know. So all of that being said, my wrist, being able to serve the team and that sort of in a different capacity, it gave me a really beautiful perspective and understanding that I do have to surrender to each moment, and I can't control everything. There's a much bigger picture that's being at play, and really what it was, come to find out at the end of Date with Destiny, it was for me to surrender, let go, and ask for help. I don't typically ask for help very often. I grew up in a family where you get it done, you make things happen, you make your move, and I have leveraged a lot of my masculine energy to make that happen. And it was another level of humility and grace and surrender and letting go, being physically handicapped a little bit during that time. But it was really beautiful in the same sense as well. Surgery on the knee and ankle tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, guys, please, if you're watching this, send John many prayers, lots of love and light and healing light, and many prayers as he undergoes surgery tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to check in on you. So yes, a beautiful lesson in surrender, letting go, and then asking for help. The other piece, that really I was not expecting, and really had no awareness to it, was I have been so focused on my business and getting things up and running. And as many of you likely know, I went through a breakup earlier this year, and as such, I basically have been like full steam ahead. Like I don't need a man. I'm not even like interested in finding a relationship or being in a relationship because I need to focus on my business. And if I can't focus on my business and have a relationship, that was the story that I had like subconsciously like wired into my head. And so a beautiful dear friend of mine, John, another John, from the Gold Coast of Australia. He's actually a lion with Tony Robbins' Lions group. And he did this wonderful energy session with me in releasing that energy that means that I can't have a relationship and work on my business. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, you guys, but these are the things that this like crazy, this like monkey human brain does to us. And it was funny, like as soon as we finished that exercise, like I felt lighter, I felt just more at peace, I felt more grounded, I felt more centered, and it was really beautiful. It was a really beautiful awakening. I've noticed that, especially around men, I had a hard time feeling comfortable sometimes because I would always feel like I was hunted, or like I had to put up a wall. I couldn't be vulnerable because I was afraid of like what would happen. And slowly but surely at Date with Destiny, I started letting that go. I had a really beautiful open eye exercise within leadership with a perfect stranger, literally looking into the person's eyes for 5 minutes straight, and just pouring in love. And actually, it was one of the most profound exercises I've ever done. Luis, if you're on or you see this, thank you from all of my being for being my partner in that exercise. That exercise allowed me to more fully let go and surrender and know that I'm safe without any sort of like pretense or context. And that was really an eye-opening experience for me. I was actually talking to a friend yesterday. I don't know, for those of you that know me, you obviously know I have a lot of energy. Part of my energy, I think at times, sometimes like we don't know when we're in the fight or flight, experience. And it was brought to my attention that I might be holding on more tension in my body in this like fight or flight mode than I let on or really have conscious awareness of. And in that moment, and with like the wrist And that beautiful exercise, like, it allowed me to truly let go and surrender and recognize that I am safe, I am guided, and there's a much bigger picture and lesson at play in allowing myself to be me, like fully me, and, you know, letting go in a safe space. And I don't have to be tough or be really strong because I already am that. And so a lot of really beautiful awakening moments through that exercise. When we look into other people's eyes, you guys, it's the windows to our soul. And I kid you not, like, we literally sat across from each other and looked into each other's eyes for 5 minutes. And there was some talking of, like, kind of getting us into this, like, physical space. But as you do that, I saw him, like, running the bases as a child in Venezuela. He saw me as, like, a little girl and as a rebellious teenager, come to find out, which is pretty hilarious and, like, so spot on. But it was really beautiful because it gave me that safe space to fully let go and embrace the present moment. You know, I think it's really easy to get caught up in, like, what all the things that we need to do and what we should do and all of that. But what about just right now? The beauty of the present moment. And that space that he provided me in that moment cracked me open to another level. Again, one that I wasn't expecting or really aware of, but knowing that I'm safe and I'm guided on a much bigger level. It was a very emotional experience for me, which is part of the reason why I think a lot of these tears are still coming up. But they're really beautiful tears, and that's why my nose gets red. Holy pattern interrupt. But I share all of that because maybe just how can you be more present in your life and with the people in front of you, you know, the people around you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, whatever. Because when we're truly present with someone, sometimes that's all we need to heal and move through certain things that may be holding us back or blocking us. So just something to consider. But it was really beautiful. So that happened on day 5. Now, mind you, you guys, Day with Destiny, if you've been, you know it's like a whole nother level of sleep deprivation. And I will tell you, leadership, being a part of leadership, is even another level of sleep deprivation. Nights turned into days, days turned into nights. I mean, I didn't know what day it was, what time it was. I mean, it was so goofy. My clock was so out of whack. So day 5, that happened. Day 6, the last day, I had this, like, really random or not so random run-in with this beautiful soul, Rama. She's a very powerful vessel for love and light. And it was funny, she first started talking to me, and I do want to bring this up. I know I can get long-winded, and this is totally a meta report if you've seen Tony. But she had asked me how we started talking was my friend Courtney and I were sitting there, and I was waiting to go back upstairs for leadership to do integration. And she's like, what do these bracelets mean to you? And I said, and I told her about them. I was like, well, this is my chosen family. You know, they, like, for each of you that have given me these bracelets, you know who you are, and I love you very much. And I wear them every day, and they mean so much to me. So thank you, all of you, and you know who you are, that have given me those bracelets. So this is a reminder of my chosen family and, you know, just being in this environment and that sort of thing. And then she asked me about my wrist, and she said, you know, what's going on with your wrist? And I'm not going to share too much. And if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to do it. But there's some people in here that I'm not really ready to be fully exposed on this. But she'd asked me what happened to my wrist, and I said, well, I'm not really sure. It's just been really inflamed. It's been, I don't know if it's the muscle, whatever. And then she told me that the right side of your body has to do with the father, and your left side has to do with the mother. So if there's some sort of strain or communication or something going on, maybe in that paternal lineage, it's, life drawing awareness to it. And consciousness to it. And in that moment, I've done a lot of work in letting go of my masculine energy and really loving men for the men that they are, and appreciating men for the men that they are and how they show up in my life. And I will tell you, the men in the Tony Robbins community continue to show up for me and for a lot of other people. And there's been a lot of men in this community that have given me have given me the space to feel safe, to feel heard, to feel seen, and to be loved and not want anything else from me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a really beautiful thing, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. And I have another level of appreciation. And it's not that I don't appreciate other men outside of this community, but this community has really given me a standard of how I can respond, how I can love and appreciate men in a way where I feel completely safe. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's been a beautiful thing. So that being said, I had done a lot of work, and she ended up just, holding me and giving me this hug, and I fully allowed myself to let go and breathe in my belly, and I was letting go of all these things, and she started channeling some past life stuff. And I mean, again, not trying to be too woo-woo, but there was some beautiful guidance and interpretations that were coming through for her during that moment, and it was exactly what I needed right at the moment. Life doesn't always give us what we want, but it definitely gives us what we need in that moment. And she and Courtney and a few others, they really gave me that grace, that love, that guidance, that courage, that space to feel really safe, to feel seen, to feel heard, and then also just truly let go and surrender and be present in the moment. And it was a really, really powerful, beautiful thing. I shed a lot of tears. I let go of a lot of things. And it goes really back to that presence. When you can hold presence for someone, it can oftentimes mean more than anything. More than words, more than gifts, acts of service, anything like that. Just truly being present and holding space. So it was really, really beautiful, and I am forever grateful for those moments and all of that. I'm not Rama, I was just talking about you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Hi Neil. Hi Wes. I'm sorry, I'm not watching the comments. Usually I'm very good about watching the comments, and it probably drives everybody crazy, but I love saying hi to everyone. Rama, I was just talking about you. Thank you for holding that space and being that goddess of love and light, to allow me to really let go. It's not always easy when in the past you felt very alone at times. I know I'm not alone, but sometimes it can feel that way if our brain takes over, and we don't remember all that we do have in this world, and we don't practice that gratitude. So I'm constantly grateful for this community, everyone that's walked into my life over the last year and a half, more than that. I mean, forever. We meet people for a reason, and I believe that with everything. And Rama, gosh, I'm just so grateful for you, and I love you so much. So Whew, let me just take a look. Yes, I just want to make sure that I went through all the things that I wanted to talk about. And I'm sorry if this is all jumbled, but this was my Date with Destiny experience. It was really beautiful, and I'm excited. I'm energized to see what this new year brings for me, and for all my friends and my family, because life is truly happening for us. Not to us, but for us. Like I said, life maybe doesn't give us exactly what we want when we want it, but it will give us exactly what we need. And sometimes we don't find out why until we can step back and look at it. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go eat my dinner. I thought I would have a new background with my tree. I just got this beautiful tree. And I want to just say happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. For part of this, all of this, however long you've been there, it means the world. And I'm sending you so much love, so much light, so much joy in this holiday season. And if you ever feel alone, I just offer you a little bit of courage and reach out. Reach out to me. I will hear you. I will hold space. I will listen to you, because you have a gift to give to this world, and you need to be heard and you need to be seen as well. So I love you. Thank you. Actually, one other thing. If you know Ho'oponopono, that was a big theme at Date with Destiny this year. Quite beautiful. So I'm just going to leave you with, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. All right. Lots of love and light, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.